be able to start businesses much more easily. Mark Cuban posted a terrific chart last week to talk about all the new innovation, new jobs that will be created because of people starting companies. It's one of the highest periods ever we have starting companies. So I think Alex is definitely right. That we're not ready, but I do think we have people like Jensen Huang who are prepared to say, look, you can keep more people on and they can be made into forces of 10, or there will be something for them because of the tremendous number of new companies that will be created. So I understand and agree with Alex, but I also think that Jensen Huang at GTC will offer us, let's say, a much more positive scenario.
Yeah, we look forward to that early next week. Certainly one of the big catalysts of the month. Meantime, Jim, we're going to go into the bell with futures close to session lows.
Right.
VIX back to 26, Brent back to 99.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have to have a plan beyond the present.
Okay, we're live. Let's see what's going on, guys. Move that over there, get that out of the way. Stock market is waking up here. We have the bell. How's it going today? How are things looking today? I gotta bring up the stream real quick. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. We're flying now. Yep. Hope you guys can hear that. Get that opening bell. That's cool. Okay, that's working fine. Yeah. Yep.
Celebrating its listing at the NASDAQ, it's PayPay, Japanese digital finance platform backed by SoftBank, celebrating an IPO.
What's up? Morning. Just testing some stuff out. See if this is working live. Okay, yeah, the audio's all good. Perfect.
Goldman does have a note out today. John Flood looking at hedge fund positioning and arguing that if there is good news,
let's see what's happening. We're off the races now. Here we go. The red wave is coming. Let's see. VIX is up to 27. That was to be expected. It's probably going to go higher. I think we're going to see 30 today in the VIX. I don't know how it stays lower with all the negative news. VTI is down 1%. That's fairly big, yeah. It's a pretty big drop for the VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index. Nothing to sneeze at. Brings us back to Monday the 9th. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Okay, see. The value's down 1%. The VU and the SPY almost 1%. Yeah, we're seeing a nice little sell-off here. Yo, what's up? Good morning, Stocks King. Yeah, you know what? We are literally still seeing a lot of pain coming through the market. Let me turn this down a little bit. Just want to hear them chatter in the background in case you hear anything good to listen to. But yeah, we're selling off, and IGV is green, which is good. Let's look at those real quick because we do like the software sector. What's up? Palantir up quite a bit with their partnerships with NVIDIA and ONS. NVIDIA is catching a negative beat, down 1%, 184. Yeah, it's just chopping sideways, up and down, isn't it, for the past 6 months, really? Just range bound like crazy. Let me get rid of my profile is too big and in the way. Make that smaller. I'll put it over here out of the way. That'll do. Perfect. Yep. How are the metals doing? It's a good question. Yeah. Commodities. We can look at the commodities. What is that commodities ticker? Let's see. I share commodities ticker. I think it's the GCG or GSG, sorry. Nasty big drop there, isn't it? With copper, silver, and gold, and it's rallied back up. But yeah, that's just concerning. Like the war's not over yet. Trump is definitely pushing his narrative. Of course, he has to. And the Iranian Ayatollah, the new guy, he apparently is speaking today. So it's going to be interesting to see when he speaks. I wonder when he actually speaks. It's all over X, but I haven't seen him actually go live yet. My guess is he's going to try and tank oil prices higher, and he's probably going to go after the US stock market too. Without firing one bullet, what's Trump saying? Just in doubles down on any Iranian threat. The United States is the largest oil producer in the world by far, so when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money, but far greater interest and importance to me as president is stopping an evil empire, Iran, from having nuclear weapons and destroying the Middle East and indeed the world. I won't ever let that happen. So I agree with all of that. Yeah, it definitely will flip oil for sure. But I agree with everything, Trump is saying there. The problem is though, I really question why is he doing this like now, you know? Unless they knew that Iran was going to launch some sort of nasty, dirty attack on the Middle East or on America. But I think that it's going to get to the point where they got to show proof of that. They got to show the American public, aka all of us. I live in Florida. That was the case because this is really weird trying timing for Trump to launch this war on Iran, and it's not going to be over soon. Like this is pretty heavy language from Trump. Nuclear war, evil regime, prepared for oil to go higher. That's like not ending soon, put it that way. Let's quote this one. This war is not. Okay, let's go look at some other popular names real quick. Where are we? Path after a good earnings report is down 10%. Yikes. That's a heavy drop by Path. Yeah, messing with oil needs a good reason for sure, 100%. I mean, their question is that appearing on the screen? Perfect, it is. Chat box is there. Let me make that a little bit better so I can see it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a really good point, isn't it? It's like what's gonna come of that? They're predicting 4 more weeks of higher oil prices, possibly $200, as high as $200 if this war continues. Hood is down 2%. I'm guessing crypto's taking a hit. No, Bitcoin's actually green. Wow. So Bitcoin is green right now, and Hood is taking a bit of a beat. And Hood typically follows that price. SoFi down, I saw over 1%. Maybe catching a bit of a rebound there. I thought it was down lower than that pre-market. It was, yeah, pre-market down to this level, but fighting back up. There's ONS at $9, $10. This one is probably going to be a lot higher relatively soon, 6 months to a year. I wouldn't be surprised if ONS is over 15, pushing $20. Yeah, I think you're right. Typically, it's how chat tends to work. I need to see if I can find a way to fix that. I use Streamlabs OBS, but thank you, Stock King. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. As long as it's coming through and you can see it on the screen, that's what I care about, so you guys can see it. It's kind of, is it staying on screen too long? I wonder if I can make it disappear after like a minute. It's like lingering for a while there. Let's see, appearance, show, colorize, scale. Sure, it's fine. Embedded in stream. Yep, that looks good. Is there like a timeline for this thing? Theme, message. Yeah, it's fine. Don't see it. But yeah, ONDS. This one is possibly going to rip so much higher. I own like 100 shares. I want more of it, but I want to get it whenever it was lower, not when it was higher. But it never really came back down and tested that moving average. I was watching it on the daily and the weekly, hoping it would get close to that 200-day moving average. And it really just took off August the 25th right here. I got it at $3, which is fantastic, and I'm happy to hold it. But I want to buy more if it ever comes back in to test this reality. So what does the projections and that analysts say? Strong buy $18. Yeah, I believe that in 1 year. Um, Definitely don't see any problem buying it now and just holding it. Definitely believe holding on to winners for a long time. But what else is catching a pretty nasty bid? Cypher's down 4%. Let's check the energy sector real quick. Yeah, Cypher's down. UAMY is down. Heard a lot of buzz about this one, but it is getting ripped here. UAMY, when would you want to dabble in this one? On the weekly, maybe closer to $7 in this range and below. I wouldn't really want to buy it above $10 or $9, but it's a great name. Cypher has struggled since it had that breakout last October, November time. Kind of like EOS Energies. It's just kind of stuck in that range. Income statement does not look good. I know they had a pretty big bill come in, but I had shares in EOS. I think I sold them all. I think I put a stop limit at 13 and 50 cents, and it filled just so I could lock in those profits. I bought pretty low. VIX is green. Yeah, let's look at that real quick. Yeah, it's fallen there. Fallen by 100 basis points. I wouldn't trust it though. Would not trust that green, dude. I would expect that to go much higher. I'm not seeing any news headlines that tell me that we should expect something to turn that around. Oil's climbing. The oil narrative is still taking over. Let me just check the data for today. Did anything come in at 8:30? That was pretty important. 9:30. Natural gas prices. Jobless claim. I mean, this is okay, right? This is good. Consensus was 215. It came in at 212 for jobless claims. But the problem is it's still really high. I mean, this is not technically good news to me. This tells me that there's too many people not working. I want this to be a lot lower. So this is not good. Initial jobless claims as well. CM 213 versus 214. So it's not good. Definitely not good. Anything else today worthwhile? Fed Bowman, no. Yeah, not a lot there. And then Thursday, Friday, we have core PC pricing index. When is the next Fed watch? CME Fed watch. 6 days, and we're expecting no rate cut at all. Yeah, we're 0.7% of a rate cut. Really, it's going to be what they say. What is the guidance going to be for the next, few months, years of 6 months of Powell's job, basically before March takes over. So that'll be interesting to see. Is there any rate cuts planned this year? I think it was like possibly one here in December, October. Yeah, leaning towards maybe rate cuts here. June is a possibility of rate cuts. We'll see if that changes because, March, no. April, pretty much no, 9%. But it certainly ticks up there as Wash takes over. That's going to be interesting to see how these change. These change all the time. I wouldn't really put too much stock in how often these change. It happens all the time. Like, why is my laptop close enough? I have a second monitor here. It's just closed off on me. You stay awake, please. Fear and greed is 25, I think. Yeah, back in extreme fear, so that's not good. But we're like lingering here for a long time, and I think it's going to fall even further.
Members deserve a tariff refund of their own.
Costco was the first company to sue the president. Give them a break. Go eat some
Let's
sleep.
pause this guy. There we go. Let's turn off for a minute. Okay, here we go. It says in his first statement that the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed to pressure President Trump. Kim also demands all US bases shut down or they will face attacks. He wants to stamp to Trump. How long will that last? Interesting. It might not last too long, but yeah, taking a hard line. Can I just like search his name? Can we find his actual statement? Mojtabi Khamenei, is that right? I'm actually scared to click on latest. We'll do it. See what pops up. The activation of other combat fronts where the enemy has little experience will be vulnerable to major damage, and these fronts will be activated if the military situation continues in accordance with what interest requires. That's just so many words just to say we're going to hit you where you don't see it coming. That's all he's saying there, really. Right? Yeah, that's what's scaring a lot of us, dude. Like you're not wrong. That's what's kept me from like going too crazy with more high risk plays. I have about like 20 to 30% of my portfolio in cash across my portfolios, and that's what's held me back from really going all in on certain names. Because of that, it doesn't make sense to me how we can be in like this extreme fear territory. It just jumped back up there. Why would it do that? It's so weird. Whether we're like if extreme fear or fear, that's where we're like lingering. So we've been here for a while, and like you said, a mere 1 to 2% drop from all-time highs is nothing compared to what we know can happen with like COVID-19, 2022, tariff Armageddon. So roughly like a 5% decrease there, but it feels like it's been it's been a brutal. Let me turn off our indicators real quick. This is our indicators, people I call Cerebro and Galaxy, custom made set of indicators to show you exactly on the daily, the weekly, the time view, some major moves, some major price action breakouts. So you can sort of see this kind of helps us see in our community when things turn negative. So it was confirmed on a weekly negative here on Monday, March the 2nd. And that tells you, hey, you might want to consider getting out of this trade. But yeah, I'm expecting a wick down. I know Tom Lee says we're bullish. Tom Lee thinks we're going to end March higher. He thinks March might finish up higher. I think he said over 7,000, somewhere like here. So he's expecting, I think he said 7,200, right? By the end of March, which is literally insane. Like, yeah, there we go. So that's where Tom Lee, I think, in his latest video with CNBC this past week, that's what he said, that we're going to finish March really, really well. And he was probably taking that from like Trump's rhetoric that the war's almost over, and that we beat them into the ground, which we know we have, and we know it's not true. The war's not over. So that to me is ludicrous to see that. I don't think that's going to happen at all. Far from it. In fact, I think we're going to see a nasty drop down. Instead of seeing this 7% increase, which could happen if the war's over, that could happen. But the Supreme Leaders said today that they're going to basically fight and hit us in ways we haven't seen before. So I don't think that's happening. I think we're going to see something like this. It might go slightly choppy sideways for another few days, then eventually this thing will break, and I will deploy cash whenever it drops. Probably, I mean, I hope it doesn't go this far, but it's definitely a chance we wick down to test what happened last year's high right here. That's possible, just from a chart perspective. But pick your number here. Could fall anywhere in that range. But that would be pretty much a healthy reset, healthy drawdown, bounce off that prior high and range of Tariff Mageddon right there, and then go higher. Yeah, a lot of people say that extreme CNN, extreme fear and greed index thing is a little bit broken, and I think it is broken, but it does a decent job to track overall just sentiment, I suppose, momentum. I think the problem is because we have this rounded top and we're not going anywhere. It's just this nasty rounded top, and now we're like, hey, are we going to fall? Are we going to go higher? Like, in the market make up its mind? And that's, I think we're just waiting for a little test down, but we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. Anything else this guy said? He didn't appear publicly. I wonder if he got like a bomb blown up in his face. Did he like lose? There was reports he like had significant injuries. Yeah, interesting. Not one to. Um, he's not sending a message of peace to Trump. He's definitely sending a message of escalation. Let's check the price of oil now real quick. I would expect oil to have reacted pretty negatively to what he's saying. Am I blind? Where the heck's oil? Did I remove it from this? Well, there, it just went up to 102, so I couldn't find it. So there we go, 102. Let's go back to the daily charts. See that? Yeah, that's the wrong one. My bad. There it is. UK oil, Brent crude oil. Yeah, so we're touching it. We are touching it, dude. Let's look at the energy sector real quick and see what else is going on. Anything catching a bid? Of course, Bloom Energy is catching a bid. This one is wild. I want to look at this on our weekly indicators. So we had a nice blue diamond on January 26th. So we're still in a confirmed, well, we were in a confirmed bull trend. It's sort of dropped down a little bit, but Bloom Energy is very volatile. I don't own it, sadly. I was almost bought it sub $60, but I missed it. Missed the huge run up, which was right here. I heard about it around here and thought, okay, well, that has to come back down and test these ranges, but it really didn't. It was here for like a hot minute, and then it bloomed up like this. So when it was around this price point, I said, no chance. I'm not buying it here. It's way too extended, way too high. And the sucker never came back in to test down to these prices. Just kept going higher, which took it all the way to where it is today. And then it chopped down here. And at this point, I thought, okay, it has to come back down and test those averages closer, but it didn't shot back up. And now it's doing the same thing. So at this point, it's a gamble. Do you want to gamble in it going down a little bit and then higher to like 200? Or do you want to just wait until a stronger pullback? I'm not touching it right now. It's a really cool company, Bloom Energy. They have incredible technology to provide electricity to data centers, basically anywhere that needs energy and power. Their fuel cells convert natural gas into energy without using fire. It's pretty phenomenal technology, and it deserves to be where it is, but I wish I had have known more about it here because I would have bought more of it, a lot of it. But on the weekly chart, it's losing a bit of steam. Volume's falling off. On the daily chart, it's been kind of chopping here since February. It might wick down, it might go higher. This is not easy to see, so it's a bit of a gamble. But we have an awesome indicator suite that my brother built to help see what is happening in the market. Like, let's look at ONS again real quick. ONS has a red diamond there printed today on the daily on Tuesday. So it's telling me to not really look for a bullish run on this. On the weekly chart, you have a confirmed pink diamond here on the, this is called Astral, by the way. Astral will kind of show you a bunch of things like MACD convergence, RSI levels. It all feeds in to correlate this line, these two lines. And then if it drops down into the negative numbers, that's where you want to consider buying into this rebound. But for now, ONDS looks like it's trending down towards the mid range, so I wouldn't really want to be pumping lots of money into this one just right now. Yeah, those diamonds, blue and red, mean bear and bull basically. You really want to be, for long-term investments, what I focus on, I want to be buying those stocks when I see a blue diamond print right on the astral plane, which tells me convergence has happened and we're going to be moving to the upside or the downside. And then in the actual chart, it'll appear as well. You'll see a blue or pink diamond that again is just telling you, hey, it looks like we're going to see some strength here. It's pretty cool actually. Like here you'll see for ONDS, you had the bottom here on the weekly view. You had a strong green week, then a red week, and then finally we hit a green week, and that's whenever confirmation came in that the trend's going higher. So this helps you really time whenever you want to deploy capital. Again, for me, it's long-term trading, but you could use this on a daily chart too. You could try and swing trade this. Like right here, I would have sold here and wait for a blue diamond to appear to maybe buy that on the daily chart. Kind of helps quite a bit. There's the 1 minute chart as well. And feel free to check out the Discord link. I think it should be there if you want to check it out. I don't know a lot about Roots. I heard about it a few times, but I've never really had a chance to like dive deep into it. But I can tell you from the indicators on the weekly charts, that's a nasty drop. Absolutely nasty drop from 179. You got a slight blue diamond here, which looks like it might have been a false breakout. Absolutely no volume. If you can see our volume indicator called Mobi, that's telling me there's nothing here wanting this to go higher. So I would not, in the weekly chart, it's oversold. It could reverse on fundamental news. So you might know more about maybe what is the news for this one. Is there any good news? By neutral 36 states. If it got some good positive news, then it might break up higher. Earnings are good, of course. Market cap is under $1 billion, which is nice. So it's small market play. I'm not an expert in what they do, but I like what I see from a fundamental point of view here. Okay, so yeah, they're insurance companies. So insurance has been hit hard, really, right? Software, insurance, mobile technology platforms. That makes sense. It's just calling a nasty market, right? Yeah, PayPal, SoFi, SaaS companies, that's not really catching a bid. And for some reason, the market really turned on Root last summer here. It deserves to be higher. Definitely deserves to be higher on a daily chart. Have we any strength happening? No, you don't. Like you have this nasty fall off here. So oversold, no volume. These green candles, not green, sorry, the gold candles show you like huge institutional wheel volume. So if I saw one of those, that would tell me like institutions or wheels, insiders know something. So if that popped up here, I'd be more inclined to want to buy. Because again, that's huge, right? Because you want to see that. You want to see institutions and big money flowing into the stocks that you love. But sadly, that's not the case right there on that one. What is the all-time chart? Let me turn it off real quick. Hide my indicator. Yikes. Did that really IPO in 2020? at 430. That's insane. Anyway, nasty sell-off for 2 years down to the absolute bottom, like, geez. And then caught a bid sideways for about a year. And then it shot up like crazy in February, absolute ginormous February. Honestly, from a monthly point of view, it looks like it's going to go higher. It looks like on a monthly point of view, it could go a lot higher as it's testing that. The weekly, it's hit the 200 moving average on the weekly. That is a little bit concerning because it broke that moving average right there. If it had it bounced off the 200, that would be nice to see support. But this concerns me right here. This is on a weekly time view right here. What I don't like is this. I do not like this huge freaking gap right here. I'll draw it roughly speaking, where there's a little volume. So in my opinion, it really could, fill. I'd be careful with it because it could fill into this gap right here. I like it, dude. I'm gonna add it to my list. Let me add it to my SAS list, I think, just so I can keep an eye on it. But I don't like this big gap. That concerns me. Because anybody holding it from 2022 might have sold and took profits here or here. So now you're looking at this potential range here. If root falls into this range 30 and 26, that might be like a complete obvious, purchase. Last thing we'll do, I always love to check just what the street is really saying in real time. Let's see what we're getting online. Yeah, Lemonade, another really good comment. I know LMD pretty well. They fell down pretty bad too after being up really high. And I'm not surprised. It's insurance, right? It's probably reacting bad to the SAS sell-off. Get some more coffee in me so I can stay awake. Gap fill at 40. Yeah, we saw that on the chart. It could bounce here. Of course, it might not go into this range. It might just bounce here. That's a key level right there. That 40 range. Yeah, 40 to like 37. That's a very key range right there. Yeah, keep an eye on that one. But yeah, they look good. Fundamentally, what's Ronnie V say? Did he have a report on Root? I like Ronnie quite a bit. What's he say? Ronnie's a good guy. CabreFX, I'll check him out. Ronnie's got some really good indicators too. So he saw a launch here. Oof. 74, didn't launch. It went further down, nasty down. Yeah, bag holders potentially. It's wild how some stocks get hit so hard this past year. I mean, Duolingo's probably the most notable one, right? Duo. Where are they at? $97. Look at that for a sell-off on their weekly as well. So quite similar. My gosh, that's so similar to Root, isn't it? On the weekly. Yeah. Root and Duolingo's technically a SaaS, isn't it? Sure, why not? I want to see them together. Roots and then Duolingo. I've only used Duolingo for I don't know, a few days to try and learn Spanish and just give up because I think too much clicking, constantly having to just click, click, click and doing the repetitive, boring stuff. I didn't enjoy it. It's just, I didn't get the excitement from it, so I can understand why it's been sold off so bad. I think their earnings is insane though. Like their actual EPS is insane, 0.84. Fundamentally, they are really good. Like fundamentals are fantastic. But yeah, I don't think they ever deserve to be this high. It's crazy to me they actually hit this price point. I don't get how they can really get up to this level. but that's just an elevator down. Crazy. Where does it bottom? I mean, people thought it was bottoming here. I remember this. And then lately, I remember this one here last December. I thought people were like, it's going to bottom here for sure. It has to, but it didn't. It just kept, it rejected the weekly 200 moving average and just kept falling down into absolute oblivion. So that's what concerns me. It broke the weekly 200 moving average and just fell off the face of the earth. And similar with root, if root really breaks this, if root can't hold this moving average, you could see a nasty fall down to this range. So I wouldn't really want to put money there right now. I want to give it time to play out. Other software, ServiceNow 115, it's just green, red, not really doing much. CRM is up, which is nice to see. Catching a bit IGV. I love IGV. This is one of my index funds I play with. I like to buy index funds and single stocks that I love. I think it's the best way to beat the market is to have a good, strong percentage of index funds. At least 20, 30% index funds and the rest single stocks that you think are going to just kill it. IGV is a really good index fund that I think deserves to be closer to $100. That's my prediction. $100 at least by end of the year, which is a 16% increase, and I'm happy to have bought that at $70. So might even buy more. We'll see how it plays ball this next few months. American Express caught a nasty, nasty downward spiral because of that credit card interest rate crash. Nice. What are your top holdings, if I can ask? What are your top single stocks? Nah, I respect it. I respect it. I'm not against it. I'm very much for investing in the best companies. My I guess my personal financial frugal mindset keeps me about 20% in my index funds like the VU and the QQQ and the IGV. But tell me, what are your top ones you like? I bet you I have a few of them as well. What is happening with our drones? Is this guy coming back into orbit yet? KRKNF is a huge provider for Anduril. Microcaps, mostly gold, silver, and copper. Yeah, that's a good play. I mean, it definitely was a good play the past few months. They've sort of caught a little bit of a nasty drop, right? I know copper had a huge spike and then it dropped. Then it's range bound, of course. Copper, my gut tells me copper is going to go higher later this year because of the supply chain crunch demand for it. I like copper. Silver, though, $86. This was insane, wasn't it? 120, and now it's kind of stuck in this range, 95, 75. It might just chop sideways for a while until it finally takes another leg higher. But yeah, I like silver too. Not a bad idea to put some money towards silver and gold and copper. And then gold, of course, is $5,000. Gold hit an all-time high. When was that? In January of 26, 5.5, and it's fallen down. On a weekly, it's probably still elevated, but it's printed a purple pink diamond. So, of course, your indicators might not get it right every time. That's cool. I'll add that to my list. I like that a lot. Anything that's got huge play potential. Is the stream working fine? I think it is. Make sure we're not lagging. My X is still live. You know what's crazy? YouTube, like, you're lucky to get one person viewing YouTube, but X gives you more potential viewers, and then TikTok gives you more as well. But I think TikTok's just full of bots. Where is that? ICOP, is that the one? Copper Metals Mine ETF, this is the one. It might make things a little bit less volatile to be in this trade. ICOP on the daily, it's broken the 50-day moving average, getting closer to the 100-day moving average. I'd probably put money in this first just because it's a little bit safer. But again, like you can see the volume. What's really important is to like know where the volume's going, where the hockey puck is going towards, right? Yeah, total views exactly, not actual viewers. Yeah, mine says like 10-ish, but there's definitely not 10 people here. But yeah, this is really cool to see if it is working on the screen. Volume for these miners plays. Look at this huge volume. Blue is retail, institution, massive gold bid here. Obviously, it jumped so much higher, but then you had an increased amount of red or pink sell orders come in, volume to the downside, and that's where we are. It's played out here. So until I see like this changing momentum back up, I wouldn't really want to get involved in this. And honestly, it's been a nasty market, dude. It's been a nasty market to kind of trade and know where to put capital, which is why I'm seeing so many people say we should sit in cash. Cash is king until we know what's the best next play. Oil, $99, still standing high. Yeah, today is it's a nasty red day. Checking in with these overall indexes again real quick. VTI is still down 1%. The QQQ is down over percent. Yeah, I've seen those comments, multiple different sources. Copper caught my attention because of the massive shortage that's been predicted for the actual copper mines. You might know more about it than I do, of course, but that's what I heard from several sources, and I understand that. I can see how they need to find a way to get more copper. But again, I'm not an expert at all. But I like the idea of it. The IWM caught a bid, but my gosh, it's like giving up so much of its gain. 249. It was up to 260. 249 puts it right back into October of last year. Tom Lainall was calling for a massive IWM breakout around this point. And that is a 10% move higher, which is not that impressive. 20% was great, but it's fallen back. So I wonder if IWM, when things get better, will finally catch that bid higher and go towards all-time highs and push beyond it. Yeah, and that makes me wonder whenever um, popularity comes along and sees copper shortage is real, you want to be in that trade before that hits, right? That's when you want to get in before people find out and people start piling into it and push the price higher. So I highly respect that. I might have to get into the copper trade. It's martyrs. This is what concerns me as well, not to get political or religious, but like martyrs, obviously deeply Islamic, deeply Muslim. Um, I guess he's Christian, right? He claims to be Christian, I think. So we'll just go with he's Christian. I'm not going to get into it too much, but like you have Kame, how do you say this freaking name? Let's just do this real quick. How to pronounce. I'm tired of getting it wrong.
Kamine.
Kamine. Kamine. Kamehama. Kamehameha. That's hilarious. Throwback Dragon Ball Z.
Kamine.
Kameha.
Kamine.
Kamehameha. Kamine.
Kamine.
Kamine. That's fun. I hope you like Dragon Ball Z, bro. Dragon Ball Z is one of the best animes I've ever watched in my life. Probably the only one I've watched, to be honest. I need to get this chat over to where I can see it a little pop out chat. Is that better? Can I see it better? I want to make it higher. It's like so slow. It's like way down. I want to make it so I can actually see it better. Should have grabbed my iPad. That would have helped. Saw it all. Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, dude. I often think about going back and watching it all over again, but I have no time with family and kids. But dude, this is concerning. Like this, he's made this. This is a religious holy war for this guy and his martyrs and his followers. Trump wanted a quick fight. He's not going to get it. What does Stock Talk say? Iran's new supreme leader, Khamenei. No, I forgot already. Kameha, right?
Khamenei.
Khamenei makes statement: Iran will not give up unavenged in the blood of its martyrs. Religious war confirmed. That's not good. We know how religious wars work. They get nasty, and they get personal, and they get vengeful. Closure of the Strait of Hormuz should remain closed as a tool to pressure them. Of course, that was obvious. This is the big one. Can they actually hit our bases hard? And can they hit domestic US soil? So, has he divided the attempt to divide Iran? Maybe, because we're not seeing mass riots, we're not seeing protests, we're not seeing that kick off. So that does concern me a little bit. We're not seeing people in the streets calling for complete regime change, and yeah. Oh boy. Yep. Mm-hmm. Ronnie V. Margaret's just got the kiss of death. C at 660. SPY. What's that now? Double check that. I like to go back and see SPY 671. So it's recovered a little bit, really, but you can't really trust these things. The trend is going further down, so it has begun. Let's throw in a little GIF there from Lord of the Rings. There we go. I'll see one. I want to buy when it's low. Yeah, I look at the chat history, I can see Saw It All, Dragon Ball, and then I don't see Great Show. I don't see Great Show anywhere. I see your latest comment for sure, but I'm not seeing that Great Show one. Test. Yeah, it looks like it's still working fine. It might have not went through the system. So let's do a market check again. Go back and look at the VIX real quick. Are we spiking? Are we flattening? Is Trump speaking? What is currently happening? This should be 30. This should not be 25, not based upon the past 12 hours of news. I mean, my word, this is pretty cool. Amit killing it. I hope he does the market close and the market open from this. That's so freaking cool. Yeah, how is the VIX not higher with this threat? So I think we should be much higher than we are. Yeah, the US Navy is not yet ready to escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz because of mines and violence. It's crazy, like it's not that big, right? It's just not that big, but it's so dangerous. Any boat going through here, from anywhere around here, you could have multiple rockets fired at you as decoys and then get hit by a mine or a boat. So dangerous. This was wild too. Again, not to get religious at all, but this member of parliament in, where was it? Uruguay, put on a burqa to like show the hypocrisy. Crazy. Sure why. This was wild. See this last night? Yeah. But yeah, we all have to drink from paper straws, right? And avoid plastic. Meanwhile, they're doing this crap. Two more weeks of strikes. That broke last night. Yeah. This was crazy. My gosh. How can you how can you do that? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, Let me just pull up my Discord real quick. Open Discord. Let me in. Barrels swinging higher and higher, higher. Yeah. Lots to keep an eye on. We are in a crazy market. I wonder how we're going to finish this week. I wouldn't be surprised to see that over $100 and these indexes to be much, much, much lower. S&P 500. Let's see if we can get a call going with my bit real less than 4,000. Why? Looks fine to me. Restream's giving me a warning sign. Kind of silly. Thought I marked this one before. Yes, I know how to do it. Just go away. Let me click on it. There you go. You're welcome. Hmm. Oops. Looking for my chat overlay. It's fine. I gotta get a post up of this real quick. How can Trump be enthusiastic about continuing the war for at least 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, they don't have the uranium. Israel wants to literally just destroy them, wipe them out completely. America probably sees some path to peace and compromise. Gotta finish the job, yeah. Trump's just sending mixed signals. He's just all over the place. So he wants oil up, apparently. He wants oil down, he wants oil up. He can't really choose. That's not good. Market hits uncertainty, and now we got it. Let me fix this real quick. Be right back. Mm-hmm.
Year for AI. America's biggest tech companies poured tens of billions of dollars into data centers across the Gulf region and received tens of billions in support from oil-rich nations.
They had access to cheap energy. They had sovereign investment, in these projects, and they also had geographically access to these emerging markets, in Asia.
Then the U.S. and Israel struck Iran, and that AI future suddenly looks less certain.
The U.S. and Israel striking Iran for a third day following the killing of Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Iran hit back, striking 3 of Amazon Web Services data centers, 2 in the UAE and 1 in Bahrain. It was one of the first times a major cloud provider's infrastructure had been struck in a military conflict.
Prior to the outbreak of this conflict that we are witnessing unfold in the Gulf in particular, the region was viewed as relatively stable. We haven't seen this kind of conflict in the Gulf since the first Gulf War in 1990-91 when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait.
The deal spree was on display during last year's White House tour of the region across Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, with billions of dollars committed from these countries in partnerships with Microsoft, Amazon, Google, OpenAI, Oracle, and others. These tech companies also partner with the U.S. government. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Oracle all hold cloud contracts with the Pentagon. OpenAI is now building the largest data center outside of the U.S. in the UAE and recently signed its own deal with the Department of Defense amid fallout with rival Anthropic. AI and cloud computing is now deeply embedded in the U.S. military, and as that technology gets strategically more important to the military, experts worry these data centers could become more of a target.
As AI becomes more and more integrated into the worlds of business, military, we're actually seeing, a blurring of those lines. It stands to reason that the various elements of AI infrastructure, in particular data centers, are going to be targeted in attacks.
The conflict threatens more than just the safety of those data centers abroad. It also threatens to boost the cost of building them. Crude prices have soared at one point, reaching over $100 per barrel as Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz. The cheap energy that made the Gulf so attractive for data centers is now in question.
Drone strikes, missile strikes, that was not, fed into the calculus as to how to think about constructing these various sites. And so I think it poses actually a pretty significant challenge going forward.
Costs are also rising domestically, and there are some new concerns about the semiconductor supply chain. A prolonged regional conflict could affect key materials like helium and bromine. Those are important in building memory chips. For investors, the big question going forward is whether this increases the total of big tech's already eye-popping spending or just delays it.
Conflict is rarely good for check writers. If you take the case that this conflict goes on longer and energy costs go up, maybe that causes the input costs of these data centers to inch up. Maybe it slows down the speed that they're going to get there. Either way, the equation reads negative.
It's also giving big tech pause on can they make these long-term investments if things could just change in a snap.
Yeah, I think that's the British one. Is it right? Is that what you said? I think she mentioned the British price. Just checking. Yeah, there's Tom Lee. My gosh, this was wild. Like, move higher in March. I like Tom Lee a lot, but move higher in March. He said. How? How the heck are we moving higher in March? We are halfway through March. It's literally March the 12th, and he thinks we're gonna go higher in March. And now we're lower. I wonder what he's going to say next, when this next report will be. But yeah, things are getting uglier here. We give up this red. Sorry, fly. A little green reversal on the day and then down further. So I don't see any positive news coming out to make this market go higher. it might be a time just to hold on and trim. Yeah, I listened to him a lot this past year, and he definitely got me on BM&R. That's for sure. He got all of us. Most of retail bought BM&R when it was ludicrously high. I didn't buy here. I remember the day where like it got announced. Yeah, right in the summer, whenever Tom Lee was at his absolute peak in, I think, popularity, and I wanted to wait until it kind of came back down to like normality. So I bought here, I think, first of all, and I bought a little bit more here, and then it just went sideways, and then here just fell apart, absolutely fell apart. So now we're stuck here for the past like month in this $20 range. Could go longer. I mean, my gosh, it could go much longer. Yeah, selling his BM&R Ethereum play. I mean, he said we're going to go see all-time highs in December. That never happened. Got that one horribly wrong. And retail believed him. He was on Amit's show likewise saying the same sort of stuff. And I get it. You got to do your own research and all that. But he definitely led the charge for retail piling into it. Trump coin. My gosh, look at this thing. Absolute trash. Could you imagine if he announces you can now use Trump coin for buying stuff or whatever? Could go absolutely higher if he decides to ever do something with it. Trump USD. Bitcoin taking a bit of a reversal in the day as well. I have listened to primarily Benjamin Cohen on Bitcoin. I think he's the best for it. And I agree with him. I think Bitcoin is in the bear. When it broke down badly, it's now stuck in this bear market. Gold and silver, yeah. Gold and silver, and 10 years ago, I agreed with you that Bitcoin's not a part of that. But I can't believe, first of all, that it hit $10,000. I first heard of Bitcoin around this point here in 2014, really. Is it even on the chart? Yeah, I heard of Bitcoin here when I graduated college, but only weird, like sketchy, weird, people were into it, super nerds. It wasn't very well marketed. I remember this. I moved to America in 2014, so I remember this happened, and then it rugged hard, and we didn't really know why. We didn't understand it. So at this point, my mind was made up that it's a scam. It's terrible, and it's never going to go to things like significant highs. But then I watched it do this $10,000 by 2017. At this point, I realized I was wrong. Like it did go higher. Couldn't believe it. 10K. Then I began to hear about the 4-year cycles, etc. And I began to think, well, that's just, a lot of nonsense. And then the more I researched, the more I was like, okay, well, there actually is a bit of a cycle pattern to liquidity into markets and how they work. And then I realized Bitcoin has got a cycle. So it was confirmed to see it do this, pull back, and I should have bought, but I didn't because I had no money. I just got married and we're saving up to buy our first house. But this took my breath away in 2000 when it did this, up to like 60K. Wild, absolutely wild. And then had this huge drop again where it goes higher and then down, where it kind of settles in that prior high. And then lately's had this massive run up again to 120. And then what do we see? It pulled back to test these ranges. But this is where I'm like, I think it has another wee leg to go. I don't think it's quite had that final month of going lower. I would expect this to print. You might get a false screen month, but I think you're going to see another red month, maybe like June or July could be right here in this range. And then, coordinates passed, it goes higher. Coordinates passed, it's going to go absolutely nuts over these next couple of years. And that's where I think you might see it do this all the way to like 250, 350 range. So yeah, Bitcoin is just doing what it's done the past 4, 8, 12, 16 years. Apple taking a massive beating today. It's wild to see Apple do that. Typically a flight to safety, but not getting any love today. Past 1 day. Yikes. Yeah. Did I sell a cover call on Apple? No, I didn't. I've got shares. I should have sold that cover call. Okay. Final check of the market. Where are we at? Nvidia is down 2%. Google down. Path getting a wee bit of a bounce. Not much. Open down 6%. Iran down 5.5%. APL deal down 5%. Hood down 3%. Nebius 3%. SoFi back into the $17 range, which is kind of sad to see. It needs to really catch a bid, get back up to 25, 30 bucks where it belongs. HIMS is down 4% after a re-rate higher. And then there's LMND for sure. Insurance play down further. Yeah, definitely, for sure. 100%. Send me those things. I'm actually going to wrap up soon for lunch and got some stuff to do, but I do highly appreciate you being here, Stocks King. I really do appreciate you sticking around and chatting with me as we look at the market and figure out where it's going to go. Rocket Lab has chopped sideways, 60 bucks. I'd like to buy Rocket Lab if it comes back lower to this range. I think it has got one more. I think a lot of stuff has got one more final fall lower before we can load up for the next run higher. This might be it. We might be getting the final flush out that's been loading this past 6 months. The VIX is at 27. Big spike there at the 10 o'clock hour, yeah. Anything else happening that we've missed here? Yeah, if crude finishes up by $100, that'll be the narrative complete, right? Yeah, I remember that 6 years ago that COVID-19. That was insane, wasn't it? Remember that? Those were the days. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to call it there. I'm going to head out and do some work. And I'll be back later to see how the market closes.